Well, folks, in the loving memory of Anna Nicole Smith, we wanted to say that, well, life turns out to be a great trouble because, well, there appears to be another neighborhood over there. It would be hard at this particular moment, for us to show as to, what happens to be like, on the city limit of that particular another neighborhood. It used to be in the earlier days known as the Ballardston town. Now, well, folks, life of Ballardston, or whatever memories we have in reference to Ballardston, also like put us under very, very severe trouble. Well, because a major problem, folks, which turns out to be, is that Ballardston, back in those days, used to kind of like, be unconfident. But well, life turns out to be like a great trouble because, well, folks, Ballardston never really turned out to be like beautiful girls, like turned out to be, well, equivalent to Avlokita Patania, Apurva Palla, Natasha Galeria, or Kashish Mahajan, or Aditi Nair. Or we can say Shrutika Pathak or Sneha Santosh Bhatt. Now, well, that puts us under a very, very serious scenario because, well, Ballardston used to be like a great time back in those days. But, well, then the other thing is, folks, that nothing can be done about it because those days are gone, and well, Ballardston is already like married, and in reference to Vidoshi Sisodia, folks, we can't do anything. In some ways, we might be missing those individuals who used to be our friends back in 2024. But while in other way, folks, we know for sure that there's practically no point in getting ourselves entangled with those people. Because back in those days, folks, we can say three of the most ultimate privileges, which we were bestowed with, was first retention, or rather, us being in possession of those precious documents or precious documentation, which was later on discarded under a raid which took place probably in November 2024. Well, it's obviously questionable that, even though those all things, were considered to be like amongst our private possessions, we never really had an element of accessibility to it directly. It wasn't like some sort of a restraint or some sort of a confinement, kind of like having prohibitionary effect, which basically like prevented us from accessing it. But it used to be there always at the Omask office. But that was one aspect. The other aspect was obviously Dilip Jay Singh Rane. Well, Dilip Jay Singh Rane used to be alive back in those days. Well, we never really thought that Dilip Jay Singh Rane, that great individual, is going to be no more one day. And we don't know how is it even possible that it's like kind of mysterious. We didn't turn on this fan, or maybe we did, we don't know. Well, those used to be like some really terrible things, folks, which used to happen back in those days. There also used to be, folks, that LPA Association was still available. There used to be many things which were available, folks. And well, life turns out to be like a real trouble. We weren't really, we can't do anything about that, at this point. We can't.